See, when I was writing, or rather, when I was preparing for this primary exam, there is no advice I did not hear. Do past questions. Don't do past questions. Read the curriculum. When you use past questions, anyone you fail, that means you don't have an idea of the topic. Read the topic. Do this one. Don't do that one. Do that one. Don't do this one. What did I not hear? See, I've written the exam, I have gone and I have conquered. Glory be to God. But what I'm going to tell you is that primary exams for West Africa College of Surgeons, you don't need to rely on past questions. I repeat, do not rely on past questions. If you're writing for national exam, your primary exam is for national, please rely on past questions. I have a friend that wrote national primary exam and she never read though. She used just 1 week to prepare for this exam. She used only past questions. And she told me that 99% of the questions she revised came out. It came out like they repeated it. She did not read. And I think she had it in internal medicine. She did not read. She just wrote the exam. Just like that. She went to Enugu and she took the exam and she passed. Now, some people that use nationals like to write West Africa, they don't even try it because in West Africa, they did not repeat question, and even the questions they repeated, they twisted it. And guess what? It was only 5 questions that they repeated and they twisted. I wrote West Africa College of Surgery primary exam, and I can say for sure that I did not rely on past questions. Not because I got the advice not to rely on past questions, but because I was scared of relying on past questions and then I do not now see the past questions. I literally paid for that exam with my money, my hard earned money, my sweat. So I did not want to just rely on past questions. Like I didn't ever want to have that feeling of being in the hall and I did not have an idea of what to do. Now I wrote anesthesia primary exams. I have never ever read for anesthesia exams before. And even when we did the special posting in my final year in anesthesia, it was not that deep. It was just the surface we were scratching. Just like ophthalmology, radiology, and those special topics. So I'm literally going to write an exam in anesthesia. And you're telling me to read past question for something I have no idea on, for something that I don't even have a residual knowledge on. It was when I was reading, I realized that I do not know shit about anesthesia. Like, I didn't even realize that anesthesia was basically pharmacology and physiology. Like, physiology and pharmacology, I mean. Like 50% pharmacology, 50% physiology. So what I did was that when I was revising past questions, because obviously you still have to revise past questions, I was looking at the topics and then there was also a curriculum that was shared in the group. Expected topics that you're meant to know in order to have like a 50% like coverage. So in physiology now, we had renal physiology, cardiovascular, endocrine. I read all those topics in physiology. And then I read pharmacology, antihypertensives, renal pharmacology, cardiovascular pharmacology, like physiology and pharmacology. I ate it. I made sure it was at the back of my hands. Now there were other things like fire and heat, physics. Like I think 2 topics in physics. There was also pathology. But physics and pathology, I didn't even see any question in physics and pathology. And even if they were, maybe just one question out of 200 questions. So at that kind of thing now, I did not like put my mind in physics and pathology. I just wanted to eat pharmacology and physiology because I knew that bulk questions, like 80 to 90% of the questions are going to come out from those two fields. Now I went to the exam hall. Oh, before I went to the exam hall, after reading, because I used like 2 weeks to eat pharmacology and physiology, I was going to work 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. I'll come back, eat lunch, have lunch, sleep, and then wake up around 7 p.m. to go and read. I was reading from 7 p.m. to like 10 p.m. or even 11 p.m. every day. It wasn't easy. It was very, very hard, to be honest. It was very, very difficult because I was always tired. And even when I was also reading in the consulting room, I had to leave the consulting room because sometimes the nurses would see me and be like, "Oh, doctor, can you help me fill out this form?" So I had to move to another place to be reading. I'm trying to tell you that I was working and reading. Yeah, back to the exam. After I finished physiology and pharmacology for like 14 days, I then had to start reading past questions. And then the past questions were now easy for me because I had an idea about anesthesia. So I was now answering the past questions. Now, the past questions were like helping me to be sure of what I know and to solidify what I have already read. Because if you read just past questions without reading, it will be so difficult for you because you're going to cram. And you know what about cramming? When you're cramming and you don't pour it out immediately, in the next 2 to 3 days, you're going to forget all the options. You're going to forget everything. In fact, you remember all the options, but you forget the one that is the answer, which is quite funny. So after doing that for another 2 weeks, which now made it complete 28 days, I traveled to Enugu. Enugu was very, very wonderful. February has like 28, 29 days, yeah. And my exam was in March 6th. So from 1st of March to 5th of March, I was just going through past questions and just, the normal adrenaline started rising. When I entered March, my adrenaline level was on the roof. I started calling my friends. We started doing study group together, asking ourselves questions. I remember calling Elizabeth, my coach. I was asking her, how far now? How are you doing? And then a day before the exam, we were all panicking and we are like, oh my God, we're going to pass this exam in Jesus' name. After all, there's nothing Pamo did not do to us. Pamo is my medical school, by the way. Pamo dealt with us, so it's not this one that we're not going to pass. And then we passed. Now, apart from reading, where I got past questions from, I actually like registered in a Telegram group. So this person collected like 18,000 naira from me. Now, this 18,000 naira is for 5 groups. So this person has 5 groups in Telegram, and each group has like different stuff in it. So a group can have like past questions, another group can have like a paid discussion group where you see questions are being thrown out and they discuss the questions and the answers so that you understand why they're picking B for B. Just in case you go to the exam hall and the questions are turned upside down, you still like choose the question. Okay. And then another group out of the 5 were recall questions. So some people just came together and tried to recall like some questions that were asked in maybe 2025 March or 2025 August. Yeah, but it was packed. It was filled. My 18,000 went a long way. I did not feel betrayed after I saw that I was added to like 5 different groups. So that is what I did. And to be honest, that Telegram group, I cannot really say it's helped me because the past questions were never repeated. However, I use the past questions to know how far I've come in terms of my knowledge. But what I would say is that enter the Telegram group because if you're writing primary exam in national, they're going to repeat. Oh God, they're going to repeat every single thing. They're going to repeat everything, 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 everything. They're going to repeat everything. And just in case you are writing West Africa, and you also want to write national, please stay in the study group. Okay, stay in the study group. Anyway, I've yapped and yapped and yapped. But the point is, please read and stick to a plan, stick to a curriculum, stick to something that you know that even if you don't go through past questions, you are still going to pass because you have the knowledge and not you reading past questions and not having the knowledge. I think by now you should get my point. Yeah, that's my point. Please, because I want you guys to pass. That's why I'm giving you guys this tip, this whole lecture. Anyway, if you want the link to the Telegram group, just follow me on Instagram and then message me on Instagram. I'm going to share the link. I'm not even going to collect money. I'm going to share the link to you guys to get the materials free, or I'm just going to send the materials I use. And this is just for people that want to specialize in anesthesia. Okay, I'll be so kind to share to you. Yeah. So keep looking out for my videos and subscribe to my channel to hear more gist about medical things, tips and tricks and all. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.